Borstal Boy punk rock opera was intended to be performed in the prisons of the UK. It's a true life story of Dave Clarke, a bad lad turned good. In order to promote the band behind the music and to give them some coverage, Dave worked with Mike Fisher, the musical director, on another project, which was to tell the story of Dave Courtney as a musical. They produced 12 unreleased musical tracks for their punk opera. The problem was Dave Courtney was unreliable and failed to turn up to important meetings to discuss the way ahead. So the project died, leaving those involved feeling let down. Not to be discouraged, they reverted back to their original plan, Borstal Boy punk rock opera, with 24 punk rock classic tracks telling the story of converted on LSD Trip, and its world premiere was booked to be performed at King's Theatre in March 2014. Not to leave Dave Courtney out, they asked Dave to be involved, and he agreed to act as the narrator and to arrive at King's Theatre leading a convoy of 200 scooters with his Harley-Davidson motorbike, the head of the convoy, bringing the cast performers as pillion passengers to the King's Theatre to perform in the show, and this was just to add a bit of interest and attract attention to the show. 2 weeks before the performance, Dave Courtney rang saying he was pulling out and was very sorry. The same day, the scooter convoy manager rang to say they were pulling out too. On realising this, the band decided that they were going to pull out, and so the show died and did not go ahead. Feeling rather miffed at this, I went to see Dave Courtney at his home in Camelot Castle, and he informed me that he had acted out of retaliation since I had dropped him from the show and substitute myself in his place, and he was not prepared to stand and help in a show where the show should have been about him. He said the show would not go ahead and said he would tell the press and all involved that he was pulling out. When I called the Portsmouth News in front of him in his home, I gave the phone to Dave Courtney and he said to the news reporter he was pulling out because the show involved paedophilia, which was a straightforward lie. He walked into his garden and he said to me, "No hard feelings," and I responded, could he loan me 2 policeman's truncheons for the show? And he gave me 2 truncheons on loan. The only trouble was they were lost in the post when I tried to return them after the cancelled show. Now, my daughters were not very happy.